at the FayWhat Show, we bring you interesting interviews from amazing people, like this interview that I got to do with Danny and Ron from Danny and Ron's Rescue, and In the Doghouse, their docuseries that you have to see. Check it out. Look at his beautiful face. This is Howdy. Isn't he adorable? And look, I am so excited about today's show. You would think that freaking Lady Gaga and Madonna both had a baby and that they allowed me to interview it, okay? Because in bed with me, what do I have? Amazing, amazing doggies and amazing, amazing gay boys. And that is what encompasses FayWhat. Hello and welcome to the FayWhat Show. And I am here with Danny Robertshaw and Ron Danta. I am so excited to have you boys here. You have no idea.
To be here.
We are very excited to be here with
fun.
you.
Do you feel like how excited I am?
We can feel the energy.
Is it a little scary? Because I can sometimes come across a little scary.
No, we're brave.
No, okay.
We like enthusiasm.
Okay, good. Because, listen, dogs are asshole whisperers. They really know, they know if you're an asshole or not. All right, okay, let's get to it, okay? So Danny and Ron's Rescue speaks for helpless animals that really have no voice, okay? So they began their rescue mission back in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina by aiding dogs that were left homeless by the storm. And since then, their outreach has grown to heights never imagined. Now they're rescuing from puppy mills and bait dogs used in dogfighting rings and hundreds of dogs from shelters, often moments away from being euthanized. They currently deliver pet food and supplies to more than 48 elderly people living in poverty and pay for their dogs' medical bills too. They have rescued dogs from junkyards and shelters, freed animals chained to trees and living in small cages, and saved abandoned pets living on the streets. Now, here's the difference, though, between Danny and Ron's Rescue, right? They have more than 100 pups in their home, living with them in South Carolina. It's wild, all right? Welcome, Danny and Ron, to FayWhat's bed.
Thank you.
So, boys, my house is a mess. I board and rescue, and I woke up this morning to 5 pups around me and my wife, right? And when I spoke to Ron this morning, he said, 5 pups? That's just not enough. You need more than that. How many pups this morning? How many pups did you wake up with?
We have 12 in the house here down in Florida.
In West Palm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But then at home, we have 143 in South Carolina.
143. Wow. Do you move the dogs around so some could sleep with you, or do you just have the A-list that always sleeps with you?
They move us around.
They move. You end up finding Danny in one of the little doggy beds somewhere.
Yeah, and heaven forbid you go to the bathroom and try to come back and reclaim your spot.
Oh no, your spot is done. Your spot is over. So, boys, you've always loved animals since you were both kids, okay? Did both of you love animals as you were kids, or did one of you get suckered into it, like my wife? She didn't grow up with dogs. Her dogs were outside, and then she meets me, and every other week there's a new dog. No dogs are ever outside. They eat better than we do. Were you both into animals your whole life?
We both were.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I love how one writer put it online when he described you both. I'm going to do it in his voice. Danny Robertshaw was a well-known writer and trainer up and down the East Coast. Ron Danta had moved his horses to South Carolina to a farm he'd purchased with the hope of launching a business. The two men had met, but it wasn't until their lives began to circle closer to one another that they became good friends. Not long after they decided to become business partners, Danta divorced his wife and had an epiphany. The two men became partners in life with their dogs forever. Does that sound like a movie or a sitcom to you? Because that's your life. What do you feel when I read that?
Pretty much is.
It sounds crazy, Faye.
But
I'm sure people wonder what's wrong with us having that many dogs in a house.
well, and is there something wrong with you with having that many dogs in the house?
Probably.
Well, probably.
Probably, but I mean that's not a bad thing, I mean, I love animals, and more than people sometimes. I've got to tell you that I can watch TV and a person gets killed, and I'm like, okay, right? I'm kind of desensitized to it. But if a dog dies on a movie,
That's it.
I can't. I was tricked, okay, bamboozled into watching A Dog's Purpose. Did you see that movie?
No.
Don't. Okay, the dog comes back it dies and comes back, and it dies and comes back, and has a different purpose in life every time the dog comes back. It's a beautiful story, but every time the dog died, I was crying like fountains, Do you think that as pet lovers and dog lovers, we're cursed to love them too much?
No, I think we were blessed.
How so?
Well, I can tell you, Faye, from having adopted over 14,000 dogs out of our home, I can speak for Danny, but we have become better human beings because of what we've learned from the dogs. Dogs don't judge if they're black, brown, yellow, Chihuahua, Great Dane, whatever. They all intermingle, all become friends. And so I think we've been very blessed to be able to do this in our life.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I always, like I said, I rescue and I also have a dog boarding company. So I'm really blessed to have both. And you will see a Rottweiler with a Doberman with a Chihuahua,
Yep.
and their temperament is all love, and there's nothing, and they make friends like nothing, and then you would, and then I sometimes the one's like, wow, this Chihuahua's parents are two gay men in Wilton. This, Doberman's parents is a straight couple down in Miami, and it's like it's just incredible how that is. Do we not see the amazing things that dogs can get through? I mean, they are the most resilient things I have ever encountered in my life.
Yeah, most people, I don't think, with some of the dogs we get from puppy mills and abuse court cases, I think most human beings would be in therapy the rest of their life. Dogs, like you said, are so resilient. Mm-hmm. They can put it behind them and just start loving again. It's unconditional love.
What did you say about Howdy? Howdy, you said he was abused by his...
He was a court case, yes. His owner, because he barks, kicked him so badly, he shattered both front legs. So he has 2 plates in each leg and screws. And he used to be very scared of people, and he is very friendly.
Now he's so happy, right?
Yes,
he's very happy.
What do you tell someone that goes by that lingo? You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I tell them they're crazy.
Bullshit.
That is crap, right? I mean, no, but it really is. It really is true, With as many pups in bed with you all the time, do you have time to get mad at each other? Let me explain that to you, okay? So me and my wife will have 12 pups, and I'll be mad at her for something silly, like not taking out the garbage or not separating the recycling, because she knows I hate when she doesn't do that, right? But then when it's time to feed the 12 pups we have, we get synced. We're in a lineup. We're passing the bowls, and everything is flawless, and we've completely forgot about why we were mad at each other,
right.
Does that happen with you folks?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, it's the old saying, love changes everything. And I think what love these dogs give us, like I said, it's changed our lives.
I know, you can tell. And they can tell, and they're so happy for it.
Yes.
Does your relationship fall to the wayside?
A little bit. It's hard to just find time to just go somewhere and just sort of get away, have a drink or two, or just go have fun for an hour or two, because we're always concerned about who's there with the dogs.
Yeah.
If someone's there with the dogs, which nowadays they always are.
And you have an incredible group of people that are around you. You're so blessed.
We are. We're very blessed, and it's fun because people are so different, and so are the dogs, and you can quickly find out who suits who well,
yes.
and that type of magic that happens, and we have a couple of people that just love walking certain dogs particularly, and what their bond is with them, I don't know. But they're easy to bond with.
Yeah.
And like Speckles, who's pretty much can be a snob. He has to go upstairs with the girls that work in the office at the house. He has to go every day. It's like it's his job.
Really, like to make sure they're all in their right place.
Yeah. At 8 o'clock, he's right there at the bottom of the stairs, waiting on the first one to show up.
Goodness, but they're so smart. They're so smart. This happens to me countless, where I, by mistake, will lock a dog in the utility room, and there's another dog in front of the door barking at me, trying to tell me, you left the dog in the utility room, Faye. Wake up. What's wrong with you? Do you boys go on vacation?
We do. We go once a year, Faye. We go to Aruba. And we do a lot of outreach on the island of Aruba. They kill 8,000 a year on the island.
Wow.
And so we do a lot of free spay neuter. We help medically. We bring like $60,000 worth of medical supplies when we go there for the rescues. And then we help and take them shopping and take dogs to vets while we're on vacation. But that is our yearly vacation.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad that you at least take a vacation, even though it's a working vacation. You know, I've learned a lot from both of you. And I know that
That's scary.
No. You know, I know that I can be a lot. I know that I'm a lot, you know? And I know that I'm talking to you like I've known you forever, but it's because I feel like I've known you since 2018. So you've been my friends for 5 years, even though I've only been your friend for the last 5 minutes, you know? And it's just, it's one of those things. I've learned so much. And one of the things that I learned was, you know, now when I rescue out a pup, I tell them what you tell them, okay? If you don't want this pup for any reason, if the medical bills, if something happens and you can't any longer take care of this pet, bring me back the dog. I never want a dog to go somewhere else, even to get a second home or anything like that.
Or an unknown where you can't find them.
Exactly.
And
It's
know
a
that they're
lifetime
okay.
promise.
You know, I learned that from you, and that's just such a wonderful gift that you give, you know, to the next person, you know, and people have to learn that. Something else that I learned from you was when you guys went to Aruba and you did the outreach. Now, whenever I go on vacation, I find a local rescue and I just volunteer for the day. You know,
Yeah,
for a couple of hours. So I've done it in Costa Rica, I've done it in the Bahamas, I've done it in different places in the U.S. You know, and you'd be surprised what a couple of hours volunteering can help an organization. You know, and again, something else I learned out from you. So I say thank you for that.
And it puts a bright spot in their day. The people working in those shelters
Yeah.
and
Howdy.
those programs. It gets pretty mundane and old and sad sometimes.
Yeah.
And just having somebody come in with some enthusiasm and showing some appreciation for what they do and paying attention to the dogs and giving them another moment to have another sip of coffee or whatever.
Yeah. No, it does help, right?
It's important for rescue people to know that people care about them too.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Do you ever just want to give up?
Momentarily.
Okay. No, but and that's an honest answer. You know, I will come home crying with a cat that I found on the side of the road. Things will always happen like that. And my wife will always say, and I hate to call her out because she's a dog lover and she loves all the dogs I bring home, but she will always say, Faye, you can't save them all, you know? Or we'll drive by a dog on the side and I'm like, wait, stop. And she'll go, Faye, you know, we can't save them all, you know? What do you say to that? Like, but I'm going to try, right?
Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean,
If there's
we cry a lot when we get horrible cases, but you know, rescue is worth it because all of them are worth it.
Just like us. They're
Yeah.
enough. They're
Yeah.
enough too. Let's talk about the movie, the documentary, which is how I even found out about these two exceptional boys,
Howdy.
right? So,
Howdy.
come here.
Howdy.
Come here. It's just that you want to be on TV. And the thing is that you have the face for TV. Look,
He does.
don't we both look at this.
He's got a motorcycle cap too.
I love him. He's perfect. So Life in a Doghouse is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, man, you're missing out. It's such a great
Yeah,
docuseries.
it's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh, where is it now?
They did an 18-month contract. It's on Amazon Prime, on Hulu, YouTube.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, so before it was just Netflix. Now you can find it in a bunch of other places. So make sure that you go watch it because it's amazing. So Life in a Doghouse tells the inspiring story of these two incredible men and the remarkable story surrounding the work they do at Danny and Ron's rescue. So since 2005, you know, they've rescued 600 dogs in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, like I had told you. And, you know, now they've saved nearly 14,000 abused, abandoned, and starving dogs. And so the Bark magazine said about your documentary, quote, Life in a Doghouse, a love story about the work of a courageous animal-loving couple who have devoted their lives to dogs. Cute? That was cute of them, right?
They missed one thing. They didn't say crazy.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Howdy.
How did the docu-series come to pass?
We had it's a friend of ours now, but at the time we'd probably met years and years ago, but not really remembering. And he came to the house, this nice-looking fellow, and he said, "I need another dog to be with my dog. It needs
Howdy.
company."
Howdy.
And he says, "I don't like Chihuahuas, and other than that, it's fine." And so we talked for a while and told him all about what we were doing and how important it was to us. And so as he leaves, he says, "Well, gentlemen, not only have you put a Chihuahua in my arms I'm going home with, but you're also going to be my next documentary.
Oh my God.
So we shut the door and kind of elbowed each other and snickered.
And we're like, hell no, I'm not doing
And it was
that.
like, you said what word you like, but it was kind of like, all right, so what are we going to do? Just get up every morning and feed 60 freaking dogs and,
And be filmed while doing it?
and just watch us that way? And that's, because I hadn't opened my mind to the fact that we were doing so many other things.
Yeah.
And the time it took away from doing other things that we probably would have done ordinarily.
How long did they film you for the docuseries?
Oh, let's see, what was it, a year and a half?
What?
Yeah, it took about a year and a
Oh,
half because,
wow.
we trained horses for a living.
Yes.
So we would be at horse shows and we had to actually leave a horse show when Louisiana flooded so that we could go down and save dogs. And we, documentaries have to be under 90 minutes. So a lot of what he filmed, even we were on fire trucks saving dogs in the water and all that stuff.
Oh, that would have been good.
Didn't make it in the movie because he had to keep it under 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot
And-
to get in.
But a
his
year and a
name-
half into 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Ron Davis. And he kept calling him he, but it's
Yeah.
Ron Davis.
And I heard that Ron Davis might be thinking of doing something in the future with you folks again.
Yes,
Right?
we're very excited. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Faye, you cross your toes and your fingers.
I'm crossing everything because I want that to happen. So because I was thinking of, you guys have seen the show Pipples and Parolees,
Oh, yes.
right? Where they've
I've
been
watched it a
around.
lot. Yes.
Tia has been around forever doing
Yes.
that, and that brought in a good amount of money to help the rescue continue to
Right.
go, Would that be an avenue that you would consider? I mean, it
Yeah.
does take a long time.
It would take a long time, but it's as all rescues and shelters currently right now are struggling, donation wise and everything. So that would be a great shot in the arm for us. I mean, Life in the Doghouse put us in a whole different dimension. I mean, it's amazing. Like when it was on Netflix, we had over 3.2 million views and in over 48 countries.
That's
So-
amazing. That's amazing. Any backlash because you're gay? Anybody?
Don't really know. After Life in the Doghouse came out, we received thousands of emails from people. And I'll tell you one quick story. We got one from a girl in Alabama. And she said she watched Life in the Doghouse. She was so impressed and all this stuff. And she goes, here's the bad news. And she said, I have 5 siblings. My father raised us that homosexuality was subhuman.
Wow.
And she said, after watching the 2 of you on this film, thank you for proving my father wrong. And she said, and now my project is to become as good of a human being as you 2 are.
Oh my God.
But we got many. We actually got one from Broward County here where it was a family with 3 children. And the next weekend, after they watched Life in the Doghouse, they were going to go to a pet store here in Broward County and buy a puppy for the kids. And so they said, okay, it's Saturday, kids, come on, we're going to go get you a puppy. And the oldest child looked at him and said, Mom and Dad, we can't do that. Remember what we saw in Life in the Doghouse?
Oh my God.
So they went to Broward County Shelter and adopted.
I love both those stories.
Yeah.
Those are such great stories. And those are the ones that you need to really focus on when you get crap, when bad things happen,
We had another thing that was really funny during the filming because they followed us everywhere we went. I mean, every call, every vet call, everything. And so it was in a rural area near where we lived, but it was way out in the woods. And it was about a dog that was harassing people, but it needed to be caught and rescued. And so we go out there with, I don't know, the filming truck and everything else. And we get out and we're there, and this man is so nice and so happy to see us, and really entertaining. And so we ended up setting a trap near where he'd put food down for the dog and stuff. But as we were walking around the yard, there was a sign in front that said, "God only intended man and woman to be married."
On his lawn?
On his lawn. And I think half of us were gay. And so we kept elbowing each other, sort of suddenly. I thought, oops, be careful.
Yeah.
I told them all, butch it up now, boys.
Right,
Come
butch
on."
it up. Come on. Use your deep voice. That email that you mentioned about the person saying that we're subhuman. Are you sometimes surprised by, coño, you guys are of a certain age, right? Okay, and You would
You can go
think
ahead
that
and
we've
say
been.
it old.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
not, because you're not old. You're just not old. 60 is the new 50, 50 is the new 40. That is how I am working it, all right? Do you feel like, are you surprised sometimes as that, like, dogs bring us together. Doesn't matter if they're gay, straight, whatever it is, but outside of those walls, they're hateful people that would think differently about you because you're gay.
Oh yeah, of course, I think we both grew up. Well, he didn't really know it as much about himself as I didn't know it either. I just knew I was weird.
Weird queers, yes.
Well, I had no idea it was about being gay. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just I wasn't exposed to it, and the only words I'd heard referring to it were not very nice.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I actually thought about things that I didn't think I was probably supposed to be thinking about helped me go back into a shell even more. But
For sure.
but as time went on, I never felt disrespected or
Or in
disliked.
danger or threatened or anything like that.
I never felt that way, but what upsets me now, I mean, today, is when I still hear young kids that were in that time that I was being spoken about so harshly and terribly. He's a little fag or this and that.
Of course, a little sissy or whatever
And
it
I
is.
think, how at this day and time, how can they have a mind so closed?
Yeah. Yeah. And, especially here in South Florida, we were talking about the drag bans and our governor, who I won't mention, and all the horrible things that he does. Dogs bring love, and dogs are unconditional, and dogs remind us that it doesn't matter what we've been through, right? We can always accept and give love, and we're always, and we deserve love, and there's always a place for us somewhere. We just have to find it, even if it's in our chosen family. You've made up your own chosen family of pups.
Well,
You know?
we have, but we've also made a lot of friends through all of this,
Oh, for sure.
and we're appreciative of all of them. I mean, they're good to us, and we're good to them, and we all have this mutual bond. A lot of them are horse people too, so we have two mutual bonds really. But
Oh, for sure.
I think it's animals in general
Howdy.
is our biggest bond, our connection.
Well, and horses are also, let's talk about the horses. The horses is kind of what united you folks. And Ron told me that you are showing horses in December. Okay, I don't know anything about horses. Okay, I don't know anything. I know that they're expensive to ride, but I think that the outfits are super cute and the boots are nice. What exactly does that mean that you're showing them in December?
Well, for us, neither of us ride anymore.
Okay.
I rode professionally for years, and he rode a lot growing up, but I stopped riding about 15 years ago, but all that time I still trained people from the ground and helped bring their horses along and their match, and he was doing pretty much the same thing. And then he helped me at some of the upper level shows and stuff, well, almost all of them really, but helped me, with the horses, with the riding, what looks better, get it a little tight, closer to the jump, or let him stand off a little bit more, a little less rein or more gallop through the turn, or just advice. So we had very much of a workmanship relationship before we became closer.
Closer. I love how you bring the dogs even when you're doing horse stuff, because there'll be times that you'll make an event out of it. Like, okay, yeah, we're showing horses, but we've also got some dogs here in case anybody needs to adopt any. Just saying, just checking, fill out the application.
Our golf cart is full of dogs. And all winter long here at the Winter Equestrian Festival in Wellington, Faye, we have a booth on Vendor Row that we adopt dogs.
I love that. I love that. How was COVID for your rescue? How was that?
Tragic. Because we had COVID going through. We have 33 staff members now. And that's probably the hardest thing, when you asked about how is it living in the house. We have staff in our house 24/7. And so I'm sure you could picture having 33 people with your wife in the house.
I can't. Even the handyman can't come in during that time because, again, it's just too much going on.
Yeah,
so I can't imagine having 30 people also while you're trying to do stuff.
But the sad thing after COVID, you heard during COVID, people went and adopted and cleared the shelters out. Then they got jobs. And I just was at Palm Beach County the other day pulling a dog, and they said to me, the director said, Ron, we've gone back backwards 5 years. You know,
God,
we're
that's
just
awful.
packed and full, and we have no kennels open. And it's the same thing with all rescues. So COVID was quite tragic for the dogs. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to recover from it, but spay and neuter is the answer.
Spay and neuter is the answer. I don't understand people. Like, and I am that person. I'll be walking around and I'll like meet you and you're with your dog and he has his balls and I'll be the one to tell you, like, why do you have him? Why is he not fixed? Oh, because I'm going to breed him. Bitch, you ain't breeding nobody. Do you know what it entails to breed your dog? Do you know that you have to pay for this, this, and this? You're never going to breed your dog. Cut his balls off. His balls are not attached to your balls.
Danny, let's move a little further from Faye right now.
I would not do anything to your balls. I like what your balls are doing, okay? But this is the world we live in. This macho bullshit sometimes of dog owners is just crazy. Okay, let's talk about, I know I'm all over the place, I know, but I only have you for a few more minutes, so bear with me, okay? So
right.
Someone like you that's doing the same thing somewhere tragic right now, okay? So Adam Bennett and his friend Joab Ben David have rescued over 600 animals, including some 430 dogs, 200 cats, birds, fish, and guinea pigs in southern Israel since the Hamas October 7th terror massacre.
Wow.
It's insane. Where they're pulling cats from and you could see the dogs shaking incredibly from God knows what they've seen or a bomb falling or whatever it is, seeing their family completely annihilated, whatever it is. If you could send a message to those two men over there doing this, what would it be?
I guess the few words I could say instantly is God bless you both. I think, reaching out is very important. We just finished not long ago our 5th animal shelter in the Ukraine that we helped rebuild.
Wow.
Because of all the bombing and stuff, and they had no place to put all those cats and dogs, and so many of them were burned. And so that is,
For sure.
to me is huge what they're doing.
For sure. Okay, another scenario. So, again, I love my friends and I love when, I let them come over and they play with the dogs, but I know that there's certain people that I wouldn't trust with my dog, okay? That I would not leave my dog with them, all right? I love them as friends, but there's people who think of dogs as their property. I get it, whatever. It's not for me, okay? My pets are my family. The second that you are my pet, I'm with you until you or I die, right? Okay, That's just it, right? So let's talk to you boys about the right dog for the right situation, all right? Because people will come to me and be like, hey, I want a dog, okay? And I will say, like, adopt, don't shop. And it's not just let's get a pretty dog. Let's get a dog that fits your situation, right? So I'm going to give you a situation and you tell me more or less what kind of a dog you think they should have.
Okay.
Cool? All right. First situation. And I went and found gay boys to ask, okay? So understand, all right? So the right dog for the right situation. This boy, I'm a single man and work a lot, but I'm willing to get sitters and dog walkers. I have a big yard and I live in Oakland Park. I already have one pup and I think that she needs a companion. Tommy, his name is Tommy. What do you say to Tommy?
What, does he say what kind of dog it is that he has already?
He said it was like a terrier of some sort.
I would suggest something similar, just size-wise, so that it's not overwhelmed or intimidated. I think it makes the attachment process go a lot faster. And depending on what he likes to do with them, you of course want something that's actually likes looking forward to the next person coming in and feeding them or walking them or whatever. So it has to have that disposition. But I think the strongest thing where people make the biggest mistakes is picking a breed out, or a child will pick a breed out that they love and then the parents will allow it. And you just can't put the working dogs in a pet dog situation.
Completely.
And because those dogs really, they're bred to have jobs.
Yep.
And they can't tell it, but you can't train it out of them. It's bred into them.
Yes.
And so it's wrong to bring something that needs to herd sheep or cattle or live on a farm or guard property to bring them into a city.
For real.
And a house and keep them in a pen during the day and that sort of thing.
Do your research. Of course, a rescue can happen where you end up with an Akita and you weren't wanting to have an Akita,
Right.
Yeah, things happen, but you should research the breed, find out what it entails, people love Frenchies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I hate those dogs. Love Frenchies, okay? But they don't understand. They have skin issues. We're in South Florida. They can hardly breathe. There are so many things that can happen with these little puppies. And people are not educated in knowing that, you know?
They are a lot of vet bills, and they cost a lot to start with.
Right?
We had an attorney from New York, not from New York, I'm sorry, Atlanta, lived in Midtown Atlanta. He called me, he wanted to surrender his 2 dogs. And I said, well, tell me about him. He said, well, something's wrong with them. And I said, what do you mean something's wrong with them? He said, well, when I put them in their crate, all they do is constantly spin in a circle. And I said, well, what kind are they? And he said, border collies. And I said, how long are they in their crate? He said, probably 14 hours a day.
Oh my God.
And I said, sir, did you ever research that they are working dogs? They work cattle, they work sheep. And he said, no. And he said, I thought they were pretty. So we took them to our farm where we train the horses. They ran, Faye, for probably 3 weeks straight. Never laid down.
Wow.
After 3 weeks, they were just chill.
Wow.
But they were going stir crazy.
But they needed to work
Yeah.
that out. Okay, and folks, if you don't know what a working dog is, okay, why haven't you watched like the dog show? We've all watched the freaking dog show, right? And then that's where you learn the dog, you know. So these working dogs, they have a job to do.
Thanksgiving morning.
Thanksgiving morning, like you recorded after the Thanksgiving Day parade, you watched the kennel show, right? And you learned all about these breeds, you know, the cattle dogs, the Alaskan cattle dogs. You know, I take care of one, and I could just see it that it needs to run. It needs to do something, and you can't have it in a small crate. But again, I've got some, my friends are like, oh, I need to take my dog to the rescue. I can't with it anymore. Every time I come home, my house is destroyed, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. And it's like, okay, do you have somebody that runs it in the middle of the day? You know, do you have somebody visit it? No. Okay, get a dog walker to come in between in the middle of the day and let them out, let them run, let them, you know, have a little burn off session. So when you come home later on, the dog is not freaking out by holding his pee all day and also got some exercise in the middle of the day. It's something so little that you can do for your pet, for their mental health and for your mental health, right? You're sick and tired of coming home every day to poop and a mess? Get somebody to come and run the dog in the middle of the day. Trust me, you'll thank me for it. Okay.
Well, the thing you have to remember too is when you're working all day and you come home, right then is when you're pretty tired and you just want to settle for a minute. And that's when your dog is the happiest because you're back.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the dog gets scolded because I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
And how is the dog supposed to know the dog is ready?
You have to gauge your life a little bit around it, just to be fair to both of you.
It's true. Okay, next situation. We live in a condo. We've been together for 10 years and just lost our Shih Tzu and Pitty last year. What kind of pup will be the best for us?
Oh, I think they ought to think about something that is lower energy if they're living in an apartment, unless they have a dog park or plan on jogging and walking a lot. So to me, you know, at shelters or whatever, look for something that's a mixed breed that is more on the quiet, laid back side as opposed to a, like you said, a working dog, a high energy dog.
Maybe over 4 years old.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, everybody thinks all puppies are cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's very important. Like we save from shelters a lot of senior dogs because people take them to the shelter because they're 12, 14, and they want a puppy. And so we have a very soft spot for the senior dogs.
Yeah.
But, you know, get a middle-aged dog that is not going to chew the electric cords and chew your furniture, and you're going to have a great pet.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the dog people have dogs that they've had since they were puppies, but they forget the situation they were in when they got the puppy. That was something they needed then, and they had the time to clean up behind it.
Yeah.
And teach it right from wrong, and make it love, you know, just love you and fall in love with you and do everything right. But that people
Takes
forget
time.
that takes 2 or 3 years
It
sometimes.
does.
And
It does. And like
Labradors
your schedule changes and things change, so you've got to adjust and like kind of redo. Like you've got to do it like over and over and over and over.
But people don't remember that they went through all of that.
And they don't want to go through it again, though.
No.
It's not a one-time thing,
They
you
want
know?
it automatic.
No, you change apartments, you change boyfriends, you change partners, and your dog has to get used to that. All right, last situation. I'm a young gay man in Wilton, and I know that little pups are bear magnets. Do you know what a bear is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I bet you do. Which pup is best to get the most attention from other men on the drive? Signed, Tight Butt Bruce. Listen, I don't make this shit up. I mean, this is just what it is. I can't help. What do we tell tight butt Bruce?
A Chihuahua.
Chihuahuas are like the meanest, right? Like,
No,
don't bite.
They're tough little
Then,
dogs, but no, I mean, I would think they want something that's not going to be a white poodle or some, feminine type of looking dog if he's dating bears, So I think he's going to want a little more substantial, like, bulldogish look and stuff that looks like a little macho dog.
Oh my God, I could see that. And I could see that. I could see him put like a little harness on him and everything. It'd be super cute.
Leather vest. And
You want something to humble you.
Right?
Get exactly what you think you wouldn't have.
Oh my God, I love that. Boys, what do you watch? What do you watch on TV in your underwear eating bad food?
eating bad food.
By bad food, I mean I never eat McDonald's, but every once in a while, God, there's nothing like McDonald's fries. I gotta have it, and the dogs love McDonald's fries, so I always get extra for them. So, what do you watch?
Oh, I mean, I love watching Animal Planet.
More dogs, more animals.
More animals. Yep, love watching that. And then I am a very addict with watching a lot of the old shows, the old sitcoms. I really enjoy those.
Old ones, really.
I love watching the old Carol Burnett shows and
With the
True
ear.
humor.
yeah,
Yep.
it just it had such normal humor then.
I hate shows that everybody screams in them, even though they're funny in their comedies.
Mhm.
But I can't stand everybody screaming at each other.
Yeah.
So
No,
I really
that's
like
so-
HGTV, and I love like Maine Cabin Masters and
Mhm.
um,
Well, you're like really into gardening and flowers and stuff like that. Do
Yeah,
you like
I-
watch anything like that
yeah.
on TV? I mean, what the hell do you watch plants grow? That must be the most boring show ever, like in life.
no, I don't. I don't watch plants grow. I can read about that, but no, I like the stuff where people are rebuilding old things. I love history. I love the types of homes we don't see anymore,
Mhm.
and the feeling they give you when you drive up in a property with a pretty old driveway and old falling down fence. And
Yes, like the redos, like the flips and stuff like that, where you'll see the before and after.
yeah,
and
and
go,
the
wow.
homestead rescue. When these people dare to move out, and again, it's another situation where they don't know enough about what they're doing when they step into it.
Yeah.
And then these people come and have to try to save them all from their own disasters.
It's true.
And that I look at that a lot like I do the dogs. It's don't set yourself up for something that you have to be rescued from yourself. So
It's true, and you just never know, and you can't judge a book by its cover. Like you can't judge the house by how it looks like in the back. You just never know. I think that everyone. Well, I guess this is like not everyone. I think that if you can rescue, you should. Okay, and that's what I say. Instead of telling people everybody should rescue animals, I don't think that everybody is in the right place or knows enough to rescue animals. I don't
Right,
think everybody
yeah.
should just go out there and start rescuing people. Like I know people that are, jump over fences like, oh, the dog was chained up. I mean, you've got to be careful what you do. You can end up arrested too, But I think that if you have a love for animals and, you take a page out of their playbook, maybe you rescue one pup at a time. Right? I mean, we're so inundated with so many pets that need homes.
well, and even just go to a local shelter and volunteer to walk them, or clean up, or
Yeah.
bathe, or
And fostering's a great
fostering
thing too.
is wonderful. And then you don't have to own it, and then you can fail and you can own it.
Right? And listen, there are so many foster fails, but who cares?
Yeah.
Fostering is key. Listen to what the boys are saying and think about it. You don't even have to pay for the food yourself. Okay, you're helping a rescue out because they don't want to have their dogs in boarding. They don't want to have their dogs in places, that are overrun by other dogs. So a foster will be a great way. But it's true. You'll fall in love with a dog and you might keep it, but who cares? It's
Right.
a beautiful, beautiful way to
And-
meet a dog.
And another thing is, so many people, when they think I want a purebred, think they have to go and buy it. Rescues, we are inundated with purebreds every day.
That's true. That's true.
And they could be almost any breed. We've had just about all the breeds. And
There's
we
a lot
can't-
of breeds, though.
we
There's a
can't-
lot.
yeah, we can't.
I need
you
a
know,
pedicure, and Howdy knows it.
Faye will not have any toes left.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
But it's not like a mail order thing. Oh yeah, we have it and we'll ship it in 6 days. But very often, it's from nice German shepherds to labs to Fox Terriers to Jack Russells.
You've had it all.
We've had it all.
Have you ever
and
had somebody
haven't
come in and say to you, "I don't want a black dog. I don't want a Chihuahua. I don't want a male
yes.
dog. If the dog it looked at me sideways, it doesn't like me."
Well, the best part is when they ask if it's housebroken, and I'll let Ron finish that one.
My normal answer to that is yes, they are housebroken. They will go in the house.
We love you so much, Danny and Ron. Thank you so much for being on my show. Please follow them on social media, okay? Help these boys out. If you see them out, tell them thank you for all they do, all right? If you wanna adopt any of their pups, okay, go on and fill out an application and find out how you can make that happen, all right? Did I see monks just adopting some dogs from you? I saw a monk.
No,
with a
it
little-
wasn't.
No,
It was on
it wasn't.
Facebook, and I shared it, I think.
What was it?
It was a stray schnauzer, and the whole monk community took it in, and
The
they're
monastery.
keeping it.
Oh my God! And they had him dressed up like a
Dressed
monk,
up
right?
like a
Oh my
monk.
God! It was amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Danny, Robert Shaw, and Ron Danta, thank you for being you. Thank you for being on the FayWhat show. Do me a favor. Look into that camera and say, FayWhat, just like that.
FayWhat?
There it is. Yay! So I've got their book and I've got their calendar. Please make sure to pick them up wherever you like to buy your books and calendars. All right, 2024 is right around the corner, and we've got these incredible pictures.
Great
all right?
Christmas gift.
Great Christmas gift, and your book as well, Forever Home. I read somewhere that you were thinking of doing like a children's book, or is there a children's
We
book?
have 4 children's books, Life in the Doghouse series on Simon & Schuster
Okay.
and Amazon.
Okay, and so are you afraid that they're going to pull them from freaking libraries in Florida because you're 2 gay men?
It's a possibility.
That might bring more money.
It might.
Okay, or the children's books. Make sure that you get them wherever books are sold. And please follow the organization. Please give our viewers, your website again.
DannyRonsRescue.org.
DannyRonsRescue.org. We love them. Thank you so much for being on the
Thank
FayWhat
you.
show, boys.
One more thing about the
Please.
children's books is each one is about a story about a dog that's in our movie, but the stories are very fictitious. But what we've found in our world is the need for acceptance and the need for young people to learn to understand and become more open-minded. And each book is geared towards acceptance.
I love that. I love that. Look out for those books, okay? And read them to your children. It's a great way to teach a child about responsibility, about accountability, about a living thing. You know, there's nothing more beautiful than having a child grow up with their best friend,
Absolutely.
right?
You've got it.
Danny and Ron, thank you so much for being on my show today. And make sure you follow them on social media. Make sure that you support them in any way you can. And kiss your babies for us. You know that we love them. Come here.
Howdy.
My little howdy.
Speckles
My
just
little
heard
howdy.
you. Speckles just heard you. So you came and gave me a
Speckles.
kiss.
Speckles. Look, and Speckles just
Well,
made out with
Isabel,
me.
come here.
Look, come here, Isabel. You
Isabel,
too.
come on.
You too. Say hello. Say hello, you beautiful girl.
Yes.
Well, Faye, we can't thank you enough for having us on.
Thank
We're
you
very
so much.
honored.
No, honestly, it's my honor and privilege to be laying in bed with you boys. Right? All right. Make sure you follow them, and we'll be right back. So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.